All right, guys. Hey, welcome in. We are a day away from men's freestyle, U.S. Open, U20. This division is so stacked because under 20, you get some of the best high school wrestlers in the country and a lot of the young college guys that are really good and looking to compete, most of them who've been in red shirt. So Kozak and I, we're going to talk through the 10 weight classes, some of the athletes you should be paying attention to. There are so many, starting at 57 kilograms. We've been talking about these high school kids that qualified for the Olympic trials. Two of them in this bracket. We got Jax Forrest, we got Luke Lillidahl, but also 7 guys that are ranked in the top 3 in their weight class. We got Anthony Knox, who has beaten almost everybody in this bracket, whole bunch of other top-ranked guys. This weight is going to be absolutely loaded, and I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's really exciting. You mentioned it, high school guys combined with the college guys. You got, guys like Seth Mendoza still who commit to Missouri as well, Nathan Desmond, Aiden Smith. And so it's really a good opportunity to see who's the next big star, not only on the freestyle scene, but also college. So 57 is just, man, it's so deep. And the winner of this will go right to the U20 World Team Trials for that best of 3 series.
Yeah, and one college guy to keep an eye on at 57 kilos, Spencer Moore, North Carolina.
It's like a junior in college, right?
He's just finished, was it his second or third year in college?
Second, third year.
He made a U17 World Team back in 2021. He's still in the mix, so don't forget about him. Kozak, 61 kilos. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, 61, you have, again, the combination of some college guys, some high school guys. And so you got Kyler Larkin, who's ranked, I believe, number 3. JJ McComas, really tough guy going to Oklahoma State. Sam Herring, Corey Land. It's a deep field. And then there's also some of those college guys interjected. Braden Davis,
yes,
really late add to the field, I think just a couple days ago. And he's up at 61 too, which is really interesting. That's like basically 133 pounds, where he was wrestling 125 all year long. What do you think about that?
You got to wonder, what does that mean for Penn State's lineup moving forward? Does it mean Braden Davis is sick of making 125 and he'll be back down next year? Maybe so. But a couple of the guys that are going to be in this 57 kilo bracket, we already talked about Luke Lillidahl, Nate Desmond, they're going to Penn State. Desmond's got another year of high school, but Lillidahl will be there next year. Does this mean they're thinking Lillidahl 25, Braden Davis 33? Who knows? And then if so, what does that mean for Aaron Nagao? I don't know. A lot of questions there. Another college guy, though, that you're going to want to pay attention to is Cale Hughes of Oklahoma State. This guy's had a ton of success on the freestyle scene and the folk style scene, but in red shirt, so maybe people have forgotten about him. The other guy, another guy from Oklahoma, but now at Wyoming, Cole Brooks. He was 4th at this tournament last year when he was still in high school. Now after a year at Wyoming, how much better will he be? Can't count him out at all at 61 kilos.
Yeah, I think you mentioned too that Cal Hughes beat Larkin 2 times within the last year.
Year and a half, yeah.
He's kind of a guy like out of sight, out of mind, but we could pay a lot of attention to him this weekend for sure.
100%. 65 kilos is weight that I'm really excited about because we've got Bo Bassett. We saw him beat NCAA champ Anthony Ashnault at the Last Chance qualifier. He's got in this bracket, though, the last guy that was able to beat him in high school competition, Daniel Zepeda.
Sauce.
Yeah. And Sauce Zepeda, he has the sauce. He has the last high school win over Bo Bassett. But those 2 guys, they're going to have their hands full because there's a whole bunch of other tough athletes here at 65 kilos. Aiden Valencia, who going into that Last Chance qualifier was, I believe, the 1 seed, right? He might have been no, he wasn't. He was down there and met Bassett in the quarters. I don't know what he was seeded. Either way,
I think he was the one. Yeah,
he was the one. He was some people's pick to make the Olympic trials. He's that good. And if you watch that match with Bassett, he was in on the attack to score at the end. And Bassett finished in quad pod. Valencia ran out of time. But if we can see that match again, would love it. Would love to see Zepeda in the mix there as well. But also some college guys that are going to be an absolute factor here. Coy Biskins just got done with his first year at NC State. He's really good, has had success against a lot of the top level athletes. And then also at 65 kilos, Sergio Lemley, who was, just a revelation for Michigan in his true freshman year. NCAA qualifier, he beat NCAA finalist Real Woods. He's had a ton of success, and he'll be in the mix here as well. Maybe I'm forgetting some people, but you get the point. 65, really good.
Yeah. And then going up to 70, you have number 1 ranked PJ Duke, who's also going to Penn State, right? So this Penn State theme for sure, but Jaden Skellinger, Braden Stauffenberger, you got guys like Landon Robidoux, Paul Kelly, but then the college guys in here, Cannon Webster, I think he's really the guy to circle. We saw him have a really good redshirt freshman year for Illinois, and I thought maybe he might go. He was an All-American contender. I think we had him ranked in the top 10, but he's got some really good freestyle chops as well. I think he won Fargo at least once. He's really talented. And that Illinois, freestyle, they put a lot of emphasis on the international style. So I'm excited to see him after a year in the college room.
Don't forget, even before that year in the college room, Cannon Webster beat Jesse Mendez here last year. He beat All-American Dylan D'Amelio this year. He's looking really, really good. One little, kind of dark horse story that you guys might not be familiar with, Dorian Olivares. This kid's from Texas, doesn't wrestle in the Texas high school scene. He's homeschooled. He went to Folkstyle Nationals this year. He beat Pearson Manville. He beat Alex Braun. A couple of top 5 wins. And he's probably better at jiu-jitsu than he is at wrestling.
Yeah.
He's qualified for ADCC, which is like the Olympics for no-gi BJ Jitsu, and he's going to be a factor here. Can he all of a sudden climb the ranks? This is a guy that, if he keeps wrestling the way he's been wrestling, he could be like a who's number 1 level wrestler. So keep an eye on him at 70 kilos.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you mention Ken Webster beat Jesse Mendez?
Yeah, I did.
Did you mention that? Jeez.
I did mention that.
That just hit me right now. NCAA champ Jesse Mendez, who was has such a good Olympic trial. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, 74 kilograms. Crazy. This weight class, man. Are you taking this or am I taking this?
Let me take this.
All right.
We got 2 returning U17 world champions in this weight class. Joe Seeley, Ladarian Lockett. Seeley is headed to Penn State. Lockett, 1 more year of high school and then headed to Oklahoma State. Those guys are awesome. But also in the mix, you got Bo Mantanona, who's phenomenal, just finishing his first year at Michigan. And late addition to this field is Vince Bouzakis, who recently committed to Ohio State. A bunch of other really good guys in here as well. But I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to a potential showdown between Seeley and Lockett.
Yeah.
We saw it in the Ironman semifinals. It was Seeley getting the job done there. But Ladarian Lockett, he just wrestled at the Olympic trials, and he beat Meyer Shapiro, who is 3rd at NCAAs. Who would have seen that coming? So 74 kilos is going to be so good. Also, Joey Blaze in the mix. This is a guy who, he's beaten multiple All-Americans this year in his first year. I'm sure there are other guys that I'm forgetting about. Zach Hansen, I love what he does, especially in the international styles. Man, so many guys to look forward to at 74 kilos.
Yeah, man. As you keep going down that list, it's going to be an incredible bracket. D. Lockett, even he had that win over Shapiro, and then he wrestled Messenbrink. Really tough too.
Yeah.
They had a lot of fun exchanges there. So he's a guy that I'm circling. I really want to watch.
One other athlete that I almost forgot to mention, Braden Scholes. He just got done with his first year at Illinois, and he was a guy that competed in Who's Number 1 and just won Fargo last year before going to Illinois. So that guy, super good. Can't wait for that. 79, Kozak, what do we got?
Yeah, 79. Zach Ryder at 79 kilos is so interesting to me because that's essentially 174 pounds.
Yes.
And Zach Ryder going to Penn State, it's like, is he thinking about going 174 next year? What's it going to look like for him? Where does he end up on the college scene? So really interesting. He's U17 world bronze.
2 times.
Twice over, yeah. And then also future teammate Will Hinkle going to be in the mix there as well. So how do they stack up? And then you got a few other guys, Cole Hanlon-Meyer, Dom Federici. So not quite as deep, but the talent at the top I think is really good. And then the college guys in there, Lorenzo Norman, who beat Shane Griffith this year, MJ Gaitan, who else we got? Noah Mulvaney. So those college guys could come in and they could totally beat the high school guys, kind of win the whole thing.
Yeah, that's going to be such a good weight, as is 86 kilos. 86 kilos was one of the weights I was looking forward to the most. And then we got a last-minute entry. At the top, we got a couple returning U17 World Team members. Aiden Sinclair was on the team last year. And then Max McAnally, bronze medalist the year before that. McAnally just finished his first year in Minnesota. Sinclair going to be a freshman at Missouri next year. We've also got a bunch of other good high schoolers in there. Tucker Hogan, Cade Ziola. Hulk Hogan's in there too. We could have a Hogan-on-Hogan matchup.
That's right.
You never know. But the late addition to this weight class that makes things really, really interesting is Josh Barr. He is, in many people's mind, the heir to Bernie Truex as the starting 184-pounder at Penn State next year. It's going to depend, obviously, on weight classes. They're going to have options. But he registered just a day or two ago, and all of a sudden, he's a real contender to win this weight class. So Penn State fans going to want to keep an eye on him. Also, though, we've got some other good college guys like the ever dangerous Ryder Rogatsky. He has pinned people from every position. Parterre, bottom, you don't normally think, oh, I'm in danger here. But this guy, he'll pop up on all fours, lat whip you, and next thing you know, match is over. We've got Iowa State's Tate Noctiborin, who's just finished his freshman year, really, really tough. Cole Mulhauser from Princeton's really good. Jersey Rob, Dashiell Lamer, who many people forget, almost beat NCAA finalist Rocco Welsh in the Super 32 finals. So 86 kilos, depth for days. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Barr is a guy who went undefeated in his redshirt year. So didn't really face a ton of like crazy high caliber college competition. He beat a couple national qualifiers. So I really am looking forward to seeing him in this field. But 92, pretty high talent at the top with Connor Mirasola, Penn State commit. We just saw him wrestle at the Olympic trials. And then Gavin Nelson as well. Gavin Nelson at Minnesota, correct?
Yep.
He was in redshirt this past year. I think those are the two kind of class of the field guys, but then got guys like Carson Tompkins in there as well. So yeah, not the deepest field, but definitely some things to watch.
Gavin Nelson, a guy that made a U17 World Team in 2021. He was 5th in the world, really tough, and he's had a year in the room at Minnesota, doing a lot of his training with Max McAnally, and then they've got Isaiah Salazar in there, who's super tough, All-American. So he's been in the fire all year long. And you mentioned Connor Mirasola. You can see the way that the Askren Wrestling Academy guys registered for this tournament. They would love to go back to back U20 champs with Sinclair, Connor Mirasola, and then Cole Mirasola, who we'll get to up at 97 kilos. Penn State fans, ton to look out for, because Connor Mirasola, not only did he qualify for the Olympic trials, but he took down Aaron Brooks, which was something that no one on the planet had been able to do since David Taylor last year.
I think so. Yeah, not at all in the college season. So
lots to watch there at 92.
Also, some other college guys I didn't mention: Sonny Sasso, Jack Waymeyer, and Justin Rademacher. Those three guys in the mix. I think they could knock off maybe Nelson, maybe surprise Mirasola as well.
Virginia Tech fans. Interesting that Sasso is entered at 92 kilos. He's been, even in high school, competing at like more 97, that 220 weight. And I think there was some question. He's super tall. Would he go heavyweight? Would he go to 97? This seems to be an indication that 97. 97 kilos. We've got Camden McDaniel. He was bronze in the world last year at this weight class. He's going to be the favorite. But Cole Mirasola is also going to be in the mix. The other guy that I think you really got to pay attention to, and this weight is the smallest in terms of number of entries, so it's not quite have the depth. The other guy, though, had just finished his freshman year at Virginia. That's Stephen Burrell. He wrestled Camden McDaniel 3 times last year, once in the finals at U20 Open, and then twice in the best of 3 at the trials. This guy is incredibly explosive. He popped on the scene a lot during the end of his high school season. He knocked off Carter Neves at the National Prep Finals. Stephen Burrell, super tough. People don't know the name, but they will. Keep an eye on him at 97 kilos as well.
All right, heavyweight, the Biggity Boys. And man, this is maybe after a few weights where it's like, 1 or 2 contenders, maybe 3. This is a weight where there feels like there's at least 4 solid guys. You got Coy Hopke, who was U17 world champ. You got Jimmy Mullen, who was U17 world silver. Aiden Atau. Just saw him win Greco's yesterday, and then Nicholas Sahakian as well. Those 4 feel like the guys kind of at the top in this weight class. But you also got Daniel Herrera, Rocco Delegata, Shiloh Jones in there as well. So this is a fun weight. That top 4, I think you mentioned they all kind of hit maybe a couple years ago in U17s, and now they're back U20s, and they also feel maybe like the next wave of maybe the top contenders for college NCAA titles, maybe in 2 or 3 years as well.
Yeah, I love the history that these guys have. Yeah, U17 2021. It was Mullen who came out on top in that bracket. Aiden Ateo, that guy is huge. He, after his Greco interview yesterday after he won, he said, now I got to go cut weight because I got to go from 130 kilos to 125 kilos. So that's a massive guy. His Fargo final with Coy Hopke last year was legendary because if you remember, Ateo had beaten Hopke in the U20 circuit. I can't remember if it was the Open or the Trials last year, and so Teo was the favorite. He got out to a big lead. Hopkey came back, ended up pinning him. Electric in the Fargo Dome. We're going to see these guys let it fly. That's what I love about this group of heavyweights. They're not, your stand around, wait for passivity. These guys, they are going to score points. So it's going to be awesome. Like you said, winners of this tournament, they get a spot in the best of 3 finals at the Trials. That'll be in Ohio in about a month. Cannot wait. Thank you guys so much. Tune in live, U20 US Open.